Viewer discretion advised.
Morning was rising on the Southeastern Railway, and it seems that Tombo and Presley were slowly waking up, approaching yet another day of confidence and enthusiasm. However, Presley couldn't wake up. His fire was out and there was not enough steam. The driver, fireman, and Tombo couldn't wait much longer, so the fireman carefully made his fire, putting large lumps of coal like a wall round the outside. Then the glowing middle part was covered with smaller lumps. At last, Presley awoke.
Oh good, you're awake now.
Oh yes, indeed, Tombo. Wait, what are we doing again?
Don't you remember, Presley? We have to say goodbye to the skinny controller.
What? What for?
Because he's going on holiday in London to visit his relatives, so his daughter and friends are looking after us for a while.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, let's go.
Soon Tombo and Presley met the other engines at the big station, where the skinny controller was standing on the platform, giving his last-minute reminders. Now listen closely, all of you. I'll be leaving shortly for the airfield, where I will fly to London and visit my family. So please behave yourselves, listen to my daughter's directions, and be really useful.
Will do, sir.
Then the skinny controller turned his attention towards the big red engine. That includes you, Jimbo. I want no nonsense from you while I'm gone. Understand? Jimbo knew what the skinny controller meant. He could well remember that dreadful incident he caused a few days back. Yes, sir. I understand, sir. That's a good engine. There's nothing like determination. Now my daughter and friends will be here shortly to give you your jobs. Just then Gorford puffed up. He was going to take the skinny controller to the airfield. The skinny controller climbed aboard, took his seat, leaned out of the window and shouted, "Do your best, Gorford!" And then they set off. Finally, Gorford arrived at the airfield. Here he can see a smartly built helicopter wearing a smile of determination.
Hello there. My name is Gorford, and I'm an express engine. Who are you?
Hello, my name's Harrison. I am what you call a patrol helicopter.
Why, you must have a lot of work making sure that the town is safe, right?
Indeed. Granted, it is very hard work, but in all honesty, I enjoy it quite much. I can carry parcels, help with search and rescues, in case of emergencies. I could go on, you know. Just then, Gorford heard the skinny controller's plane taking off into the distance and out of sight.
Well, I better get going. I have a lot more work to do. It was quite a nice treat meeting you, Harrison.
Likewise. The driver turned the lever and Gorford set off once again. Later that day, Gorford arrived back at the station. The Skinny Controller's daughter and friends were making very important announcements. Their dresses looked splendid.
Okay, you lot, I have some very important news. My father's surprise party is coming up.
Oh, really? I must have lost track at this time.
Alright, simmer down. The celebration is very important to Vicky's father, so naturally, she's planning a big surprise party for her father when he gets back.
Willikers.
How generous of you!
Indeed, Tombo. Anyways, we will be preparing for it in a few days. For the time being, you all know your jobs. Now off you go to work, please.
Yes, madam, said the engines together as they went off to find their trucks and coaches. After a few days had passed, Vicky and her friends gathered all of the engines back to the big station.
Right then, here are your jobs for the day. Gorford, I want you to pick up the party guests when they arrive.
Yes, madam.
Alfred, I want you, Presley, and Humphrey to fetch the tables, chairs, the food, and even the cake.
Gotcha covered.
Diego, I want you to pick up the brass band.
Si, señorita.
Jimbo, you and Danny can serve as assistants for preparation.
Very well then.
And finally, Tombo, you can pick up the gifts and decorations.
Aye aye, madam. You can count on me.
Tombo likes taking specials. It makes him feel useful and more reliable than ever. And considering it was the Skinny Controller's surprise party today, he didn't want to be late. Finally, Tombo arrived to the depot, where he was hooked up to his train. It looked marvelous. While he was waiting, he noticed there was an empty freight truck at the tail end. The driver looked back and climbed down from Tombo's cab. "Oi, Charlie!" he called out. "How come that freight truck at the end is empty?"
Oh, that freight truck is to be dropped off at a siding further up the line. Jimbo will pick it up later.
"Very well. Off we go, Tombo. We don't want to be late." Soon Tombo was chuffing down the countryside with his load. Things were sailing smoothly. Little did he know that he was in for a great deal of danger. Two bug-eyed diesels were sneaking right behind him. As soon as Tombo climbed up a small hill, one of the diesel's drivers tossed a lit match into one of his trucks after he was lighting up his pipe. Then there was trouble. Tombo's driver sniffed. He turned around fast and noticed that one of his trucks had caught fire.
Wait, what? Ah!
Soon Tombo was sprinting down the rails like a jackrabbit. He was out of breath and his wheels were hurting him, but he had to go on. The worst was yet to come, as he was on the wrong line. There ahead was Diego. Naturally, the signalman changed the points just in time. Up ahead, Tombo could see a junction. He applied his brakes and squealed to a halt. Never mind, I'll just uncouple the truck, he thought to himself. Why didn't I think of that? So he backed up, the driver unfastened the coupling, and ran an anxious Tombo out of the way. Soon the fire department arrived on the scene, and Tombo and Diego watched on from the sidelines. It was quite a good thing that my driver called the fire department before I dropped off the brass band. You got that right, Diego. At least the fire didn't eat up my special, otherwise the skinny controller's gifts would have been ruined. I know. Did you have any idea how it all started? Well, I mean, at least the sparks weren't showering from my funnel. Oh, bust my boiler. I'm going to be late. I better get this train to Jimbo right away. Muy bien. Adios. What happened then? No one noticed, but as Tombo raced away, he was unhitched from his train. Diego eyed the special and cried, "Tombo, espera! You left your train behind!" But it was too late. Tombo was in such a rush that he didn't hear Diego. At the station, Jimbo and the ladies were waiting anxiously when they heard a whistle.
Oh, sorry I'm late, everyone. I came as fast as I could. Apparently there was a fire in one of my trucks.
I've heard everything, Tombo. I'm just glad that you're safe now.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, here's your decorations and gifts you wanted. What? What are you looking at me like that for?
Then Tombo looked back.
What is happening today? First there was a fire in my train, and now it's disconnected from me. Who in the blinking world is responsible for all this?
I think I may have an idea.
Jimbo, just what are you implying?
Tombo, you said that there was a fire in your train, correct?
I guess so.
Was it in the empty freight truck that I was going to pick up later? Yeah? Well then, apparently, this was the work of the notorious diesel engines.
Together, they are known to cause trouble all across town.
Okay. So I believe that those diesel engines were the ones who set up the fire in the first place. And of course the lack of weight behind me.
Soon enough, Diego showed up. He was hauling Tombo's train from earlier.
Tombo, mi amigo, I knew that those dastardly diesels were at it again. If anything, they revealed themselves when nobody was looking. While I was hauling your train for you, I heard some laughing behind the station. Why, that little green engine never knew what hit him.
Yeah, you should have seen his face.
Yeah, now nobody will ever know that the diesel engines have struck again.
Well, this has gone far enough. Those diesels have caused enough problems already. We must stop this whole fiasco at once before they cause trouble for the other engines. Totally. That's right, sucker. So, anybody have any bright ideas?
Oh, wait a minute. I've got one.
An idea, Jimbo.
You have an idea.
What?
Let's get one thing out of the gate, Jimbo. I don't even need to explain as to why your quote-unquote ideas almost constantly bomb.
Name one time.
Oh, trust me, I've got more than one, Jimbo. How about that idea of yours to get back at Gorford and Presley for your quote-unquote April Fool's fiasco?
Oh yes, that did get out of hand.
Or how about the time when you thought you were much better than Dewey? Oh, and did I forget to mention the Secret Tender Club?
Okay, I see a point.
Sorry.
Well, I, for one, have a much better idea, and this is how we're gonna do it.
Later that day, everything was ready. Tombo and Diego were parked in some empty sidings while Vicky and her friends called the constables. Further up the line, the two diesel engine bullies named Spotty and Dotty were resting by the sidings next to some empty freight trucks.
This is fantastic. We've been at the bad guy business for 10 years, and nothing abysmal has happened to us. How could it get any better?
Waffles? Waffles? Waffles!
Spotty was fuming with Darty when he heard another engine's whistle. Jimbo was chuffing through the countryside. Instead of nice shiny coaches, he was pulling very dirty trucks.
It's not fair. Why do I always have to pick up the dirty work? I deserve a rest too. Hey, Darty, we seem to have picked up a new victim. Who's ready for some pyrotechnics like Michael Bay? Waffles! Yeah, that works too.
As soon as Jimbo and his driver drew themselves closer, they could both see the diesels, and their drivers had matches. Are you ready, Jimbo? Exhilarate hard when I tell you. Now, he said, and the driver turned the lever. Now Jimbo was going faster than he had ever gone before. He didn't care that his wheels were hurting him, he just had to go on. Meanwhile, Humphrey and Alfred were carrying passengers when they heard an unusual puffing sound. Shh, can you hear something?
Sounds like Jimbo to me.
It ought to be Jimbo, but Jimbo never makes a chuffing noise like that. It was Jimbo. He came down the rails at a tremendous rate. He didn't look at Humphrey and he didn't look at Alfred. He screamed straight through the station and disappeared.
Can you believe what I'm seeing, Alfred?
Both Humphrey and Alfred agreed that they never had. Meanwhile, Spotty and Dotty were trying to catch up, but Jimbo was much too fast as he screeched along the line. The noise was awful. Back at the sidings, Tombo and Diego were waiting anxiously when suddenly... Okay, Diego, get ready! As soon as Jimbo was puffing into the sidings, he applied his brakes and squealed to a halt. The silence was amazing.
Not so fast, you dirty diesels. Yeah, that's right. The constables were on holiday, so they sent me in instead. I've caught your drivers red-handed. Come out with your hands behind your head.
Soon Spotty and Dotty's drivers were taken into custody, where they spent 40 years in federal prison. Back at the sidings, Vicky and her friends were praising everyone.
Well done, you lot. You are all really useful engines.
Gracias, señorita. Happy to be obliged.
The same goes to you, Jimbo. If it hadn't been for you, we would have been in a worse situation.
Jimbo giggled as he blushed bright red.
Well, now that we've got that taken care of, all aboard, let's get back to the big station. The skinny controller will be here any minute.
At the airport, the skinny controller was waiting anxiously. He was expecting Gorford to collect him 3 hours ago. But then, who should come to the skinny controller's rescue but Harrison the helicopter? Hello there. Are you the one they call Harrison the helicopter? Why, of course I am, mate. And I suppose you must be the skinny controller. Your daughter asked me to give you a lift. Oh, thank you very much. Let's go. Back at the big station, Vicky, her friends, and all of the engines were waiting excitedly. Their boilers were bubbling with joy until...
Hey guys, get ready! I think I can see Harrison!
Here you are, sir. Why, thank you, Harrison. Hello? Anybody here? The Skinny Controller's investigation was cut short thanks to a delightful chorus of cheers and whistles.
Hey, happy B-Day, Father!
Oh, Vicky, how thoughtful of you! Silence, please. You know, I never thought that I would raise my own machines and my own daughter in the most respectful way imaginable. And someday, maybe, just maybe, you and your friends can be in charge of the whole railway just the same way I do. The Skinny Controller thought that this was the best surprise party that he had ever had, and he thought that there was no place to be than here on the Southeastern Railway. And so we have come to the happy ending of our story. And now it's time for all of us to go home. Just like Tombo.